Hello friends, and welcome back to the studio. Now, I've just finished my solo exhibition of 2025, Still Bodies, Dialogues of Death Care. If you've been on Instagram, that's when you're going to find out about it, because I haven't made any YouTube videos because I've been too busy painting. Sorry. I'm sorry. I promise. After finishing a solo show, your girl is tired. And that's okay, but that's exactly why I wanted to come straight back to YouTube, because this is my fun, happy time place. This is my place where I get to do silly things. The studio is in shambles. The studio I haven't shown you, but exists. Not important. And I decided I wanted to do a little silly project. Now, what's something I could do as a little silly project? I could do oil tobas again, I could do sketchbooking again, and I'm like, I kind of want to customize a little something. I've watched a whole bunch of my other amazing YouTube creative friends do like create these books, or do like art prompts, or do like customizing like Pantone pictures and things like that. And I'm like, what have I got kicking around? And as you know, I am a big fan of YouTube Australian darling, creative queen, Renae Clark. And she gave me my cute little swatch dexes, which I've been slowly filling. This one's my watercolor and gouache one, which is slowly getting there. Not getting there fast enough, but that's a side thing. And then ages ago, I got the color cube. Now, if anyone doesn't know the color cube is basically like what I was just saying. It's like for prompts and helping you get going, but even more so, it does like swatches. So every card in the color cube you can pull out randomly. It has an inspiration image at the top. Then it's got a palette at the bottom. And on the back, it's got names and hex codes. So that way you can see a value guide from dark to light for each of the colors, or if you're doing digital art, you can use those hex codes. So really cool, really lovely. I've used it a couple of times for sketchbooking and on live streams and things like that. I gave it a go, but more so when I really don't know what I want to do, I sort of flick through and see what grabs me. The only thing I've found with it is I am not very diverse in the images I find inspiring. I look at that and I'm like, heck yes. Heck yes, amazing cloud stuff, great. But then I'm like, table with donuts, it's not my jam. Wallets, it's not my jam. These colors, gorgeous. That, not doing anything for me. So I thought, rather than sort of have a whole bunch of cards I don't like, maybe I could customize these. The only downside is once I F with the box, it means it's not going to fit in the box very nicely and it's going to be all weird. So that's when Sarah came to my rescue, because I saw her recently and she just happened to give me one of these. Now this is actually a sample pack for the color cube that I believe local orders get in their order. And yeah, here's a little gift for your next creative project. And when you open it up, it's a few sample cards from the color cube. And I'm like, am I gonna paint on those? Am I gonna paint on those? How challenging is it gonna be in oil paint to exactly make this palette? First of all, I have to custom mix the colors to make exactly that. And then secondly, paint something here that I enjoy. The challenge, I think initially I want to stick to this palette as much as possible. I'm having a mental wrestle with whether I use white as well, but I feel like once I add to the palette, it's less challenging. So let's try and stick to the palette and see how we go. And this can just be something I can have a go, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But then I'm not risking my box. I know some people keep their box perfectly in order. Mine's not in order by number because they do actually have numbers, but at the same time, I'm like, if I delete images and then later I actually want them, then I'll be annoyed at myself, even though I can Google anything and like even copyright-free reference images, etc. I'm sure I could find past Renae, or I could set that up myself really easily. Granted, going to the grocery store, too much effort. So yeah, this is meant to be a fun little pick up, put down project, and we will see how we go. All right, let's have some fun. Here we go. So we've pulled out the old faithful Art Spectrum Clear Artist Gesso, and we're going to pop that down on the cards. I did forget immediately that I wanted to mask the edges, so I go back, but the only tape I've got with me is this horrible old blue tape that refuses to pull off nicely. I apologise in advance. Wait. Future Liz coming here. Future Liz has already primed some more cards, and what I did was I actually sanded, you can't even tell on that one, where's the dark one? There. I've sanded the gesso a little bit after the fact, just a smidge with 180 grit sandpaper, and God, has it made a difference to the feel, and it means that the brush isn't going to be slippy slidey anymore. I know this is a gorgeous image, but I've just primed all the ones I've got now because I'm so excited. Okay, keep going with the video, Liz. Back to past Liz. Bye. This first card, we've lucked out with a very similar palette to a historical traditional painting palette called the Under Zorn palette. Here I'm using Holbein Pyrrole Red, Art Spectrum Light Black, Art Spectrum Titanium White, and Winsor & Newton Yellow Ochre Light. These are all colours I use fairly regularly, but again, I am going to mix them up straight as the palette. I'm not going to let myself use pure white. Let's try on hard mode. I actually really enjoy mixing. It's quite a fun thing. I just think I lose patience for it after a while. So we'll see at the end of painting this card how close I got with the colours. I think in future I might test the colours on the swatches first. I was just worried about putting my hand in it. I decided for this series, rather than just searching stock images, I wanted to make a point to use things that are copyright free. There is a huge range of huge art galleries around the world that provide images of historical paintings that are free of copyright in incredible high definition for free. So this is a piece, Portrait of an Unknown Woman, I believe, from the National Gallery of Art. And again, I downloaded this giant sized image where you can zoom all the way into the tiny cracks on the painting, and I'm using her as my first inspiration. Knowing that the Zorn palette is used for portraits, I thought a face would be best. She is a little bit yellow in the reference image because of varnish discoloring over time. Linseed oil in general does yellow over time, very gradually. This painting, oh, when's it from, 1700s or something? I should have looked that up before starting the voiceover, hey. So yeah, I'm getting straight into it, and it was a struggle, I'll be honest. That grey, I really needed to cover the surface before really seeing what she looked like. But she came together in the end. I love how that works with a palette. Once you get around the whole surface, then you can see your values properly, and then you can adjust. Oh, that tape. Boo! Boo! Yeah, I apologise. The tape pulls. I think they do get better. I remember. Let's find out. But I definitely see some proper washi tape. Oh my god, pick it up. I definitely see some proper washi tape in my future. There we go. Likeness isn't 100% there, but I still think she looks really cute, even if she doesn't look exactly like the reference image. Now we get to test the colours. How close did I get? Definitely more vibrant in the oil. That's just a hazard of the print process, but... oh, that grey's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, that grey's a bit worse. Okay. Maybe that grey, yeah, no, not great. And we'll go through them all later when I've finished. How do we feel about another? Another! For the next palette, I picked this really challenging one. It honestly looks like a makeup palette to me. It's all sort of nudes and a peachy tone and a light grey, so not a lot of contrast. There's the one slightly darker tan, and that's about it. And this is how I did with my mixing. This time we're referencing a painting. We're only referencing a tiny little chunk of a painting. It is A Bouquet of Flowers in a Crystal Vase by, how do I say their name? It's Flemish. Hold on. Nicholas van Vendendel. Verendel? From 1662. I just picked this tiny little bit because I really like the little butterfly sitting on the flower, and I thought that would look cute to have two sort of very soft organic forms with these soft colours. I learned from the last painting, blocking everything in with the midtones and then going in with your highest and lowest contrast really, really helped. All those little highlights in the light grey colour, super helpful. And then just punching in that darker tan around the butterfly really helped it pop forward. Okay, try 2. Okay, that one was good. And not so much. But you know, it's pretty easy to fix. Now these mixes, I'm pretty damn happy with most of these mixes. That one on the end, we'll judge it later. Okay, one more. Another! I'm having too much fun. This one I painted on the same day as the butterfly, and for this piece we're referencing something that's right up my alley. Pre-mix the colours, we're going all cool tones. Still life with a skull and a writing quill. And this one is by, what's their name? Pieter Kleis. It's Dutch. I apologise to everyone Dutch. I can't pronounce for my life, but oh my gosh, did I have fun painting this one. Skulls and like tableware, sort of reflective objects. Ugh, love it. Because this one was a pretty standard value scale, I had a light, I had a dark, I had a mid-tone, it was all in the cool area. I could really easily play with where my light source was coming from, having blue coming from one side of the skull, having the grey on the other. It was a lot more control. Oh, come on tape, be nice, be nice. Oh, that grey's not bad. That grey's not bad. I like that. Yes, that blue is so satisfying. Yes. We've got the nudesy one. We've got our butterfly. We've got our skull. And we've got our little portrait. Now the interesting thing with these, as with all oil paintings, as they dry, they tend to sink in a little bit and get a little bit dull. So I think an essential step with these guys is not to judge the colours too badly until we get the varnish on, because the varnish changes everything. So I let them dry for about 2 weeks, and then I pulled out the Gamvar gloss varnish. I really like using Gamvar because it's a breathing varnish, so your painting doesn't have to be 100% dry, it just has to be solidly touch dry before applying the Gamvar. And as you can see, it just brings out that contrast so much better. Before varnishing. With a bit of varnish. Those blacks just, oh, they go so luminous and punchy. It's interesting with this one how much the yellow ochre really pops forward when it's varnished. I don't know if it's just where I put the varnish initially in those like 2 strokes, but it looked really yellow for a second and then yeah, comes together again. So I guess the context matters of having all the colours saturated with the varnish as opposed to just some sections of the painting. Okay, it's just started horridly raining, so hopefully you can hear me and not the rain. But yeah, we're all done. Let's have a little look, and I'm going to go backwards a little bit, so go through them. So this is the last one I did, the skull and the goblet. I really like this image. It's so moody, but also I feel like it's quite far away from the original. In terms of the palette, love it. Slightly too cool. Didn't get it. Pretty good. The only thing with the cards is obviously anytime I use a more saturated black, like because the black has oil in it, it's never got, you can't have a printer ink that's going to look that black. So there's some of these where I'm just going to have to go, yeah, it's pretty much black and match it as best I can, but I'm really happy with this one. It's so my vibe. Look, it even matches like me. That's so me. So yeah, that's definitely a winner. I love him. Then working backwards, we've got our little makeup nudes image. This one grows on me a little bit. I was really feeling when I was painting it, but the way that the little details in the wings has sort of given you some light shining through, and then the actual peony, it came together, which was interesting. Again, I'm like, how good is that color match? I'm so proud of myself for that one. That one was great. So satisfying. This one's pretty close, tiny bit darker, a lot darker, not as close on that one. That one looks so good. I'm so happy with it. Way too dark. Completely gave up on that one because I was ready to start painting. So that's on me. But this is a fun exercise because not only am I playing with the imagery, but just practicing even just matching the colors with paint, because print is so different to paint. It's really giving me good fun time vibes. And then my last one, now this one I spent twice as many hours on compared to the other 2. And it's the full realism palette. So I'm still quite happy with it. Yes, some of the colors are a bit off. That one you can see a big difference. This one's fine, it's black. That one's close enough. That one's close enough, a bit more saturated. That one's great. And that's just straight color from the tube as well with the red. I didn't do anything to that red, I don't think. So I'm really happy with her. And again, for someone who was sitting in the ugly stage for so long, gosh, she came together. So yeah, should I put these in a box or should I put them up on the wall? I kind of feel like putting them up on the wall and seeing if we can build like a little wallpaper area. So I might start with that once these are fully dry. But thank you for coming along on my little for fun project. I have so many things I need to do, but this was really fun, and I need to give myself more allotted times for art for fun, and I would love YouTube to be my art for fun place a bit more. Instagram will always have my portfolio, and I'm doing so much at the moment within the painting and death care space. So if you're interested in death care at all, or death literacy, if you're interested in heavier topic paintings, and of course all my figurative and portrait works, they're all over there on Instagram. But YouTube's going to be a bit more lighter, a bit more fun, a bit more, let's just play with art supplies, hey? And that'll be really nice. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to wash your brushes. All right, have a good one. Bye. And then I wheel away. It literally wasn't raining 2 minutes ago, and then I decided to film, and now. Thanks, Melbourne. Thanks. Oh, hi. By the way, this is Alfonso. Say hi, Alfonso. Present to myself for finishing my exhibition.